With that, I want to quickly shift focus to the other big developing story that we're keeping a keen eye on, and let's move now from Ayodhya to Haridwar. Haridwar's Dharam Sansad has sparked a massive row because in the garb of a Dharam Sansad, viewers, vitriolic, bigoted statements were made where a clarion call for the genocide of Muslims was also called for.
यही तुम्हें बचाने वाले हैं।
Pure poison. A call to arms. These are excerpts from speeches at a 3-day Dharam Sansad held in Haridwar. These speeches just give you a picture of what was said there. The rest has been kept out deliberately. Self-styled religious leaders took to the stage one after another, allegedly calling for, very mildly put, violence against the minorities. The event at the Ved Niketan was organized by Yati Singhanand, who has been accused of inciting violence in the past. The video shows Prabodhanand Giri allegedly saying Hindus should pick up weapons, while Sadhvi Annapurna can be heard urging violence against other religions. When confronted, the supporters appeared defiant.
यहाँ पर हर वक्ता ने भारत को हिंदू राष्ट्र बनाने की बात कही। हम लोगों ने इस धर्म संसद में एक बात रखी कि उत्तराखंड देवभूमि हिंदू धर्म का उद्गम स्थल है। अगर उद्गम स्थल को नहीं बचाया जा सकता तो भारत हिंदू राष्ट्र बनाना बड़ा मुश्किल होगा।
जो भी हिंदू सगन लड़के लड़ते हैं और उनको गैर हिंदू एफआई दर्ज करके फांसते हैं किसी भी केस में, उसे हम बचाने का पूरा प्रयास करेंगे।
What is even more shocking is the deafening silence from top political leaders. Trinamool Congress member and RTI activist Saket Gokhale, though, has filed a complaint against the organizers of the Dharam Sansad. Attendees of the hate meet were all influencers at some level. Yati Singhanand Giri of the Juna Akhada, Prabodhanand Giri, the Hindu Raksha Sena president, Sadhvi Annapurna of the Niranjani Akhada Mahamandaleshwar, Swami Anand Swaroop from the Sambhavi Dham. The police claim they are looking into the matter.
देखिए, पुलिस इस पे नज़र रखे हुए है और जो भी आवश्यक कार्रवाई होगी, विधिक कार्रवाई पुलिस अमल में लाएगी और शांति व्यवस्था को ध्यान में रखते हुए पुलिस लगातार सारी गतिविधियों पे पैनी नज़र रखी हुई है।
Former Army Chief General Ved Malik and former Naval Chief Admiral Arun Prakash were among those who took to Twitter demanding action against the blatant hate speech. The unacceptable hate meets have sparked massive outrage over bigotry. But will those involved be brought to book, especially in this surcharged election atmosphere? Bureau Report, India Today.
Before we cut across to our two guests this evening, 2 points need to be made. Number one, what you just saw, that Dharam Sansad there, the attendees were not some fringe group. They can't once again be brushed under the carpet and be made to be fringe groups. Some of them are very close to the Uttarakhand establishment, the political establishment of Uttarakhand. Number two, and that's the question which I will take to our panelists, Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer, Kapil Sankla, advocate, both of us join me this evening. Mr. Azad, I want to ask you the second question. If the kind of hate speech that we have heard, bigoted, vitriolic, there's a lot that we can't even say right now on air, but it practically called for the genocide of Muslims. If it was the other way around, if it was the minority members who were making this speech, would the police have waited to see grounds if an FIR could be lodged, or would they have gone ahead, suo moto, lodged an FIR?
Preeti, a very sensitive question you asked. Well, let me say that there have been statements from the minority groups also and they have gone unnoticed. I mean, of course, noticed by the media, but police hasn't taken any action. There was somebody from Hyderabad who gave a vitriolic speech against the Hindu community कि पुलिस को हटा लो 15 मिनट के लिए हम देख लेंगे. And there was one gentleman also from Maharashtra who made a similar statement. But let me focus on this. You know, unfortunately, this is a clear crime, I would say, and which easily that Haridwar SP should have said that we are filing cases under 153A, 295 or 505. These are clear IPC sections. We don't need any definition of hate speech. We don't need any court directives on this. And by a secular government, this is exactly what should have been done. In fact, secularism does not mean, you know, any kind of appeasement to minorities or anything. Secularism means you have to be firm that religion has got nothing to do with statecraft. Unfortunately, what has happened today and some of the calls given by Prabodhanand Giri and some of the other people, it's really unfortunate. And I don't know how the state will suffer in silence without taking action. And I think action should be taken.
Well, you know, we were also, they were not fringe players. These are mainstream players when it comes, all of them belonging to the Hindu Mahasabha. Most of them, like I said, close to the political dispensation where Uttarakhand is concerned. But having said that, there's been utter silence, not just from the current political dispensation where Uttarakhand is concerned, but also the opposition. We haven't heard from the Congress, we haven't heard from any other opposition party. Abject silence when it comes to any political party. I want to also cut across to Kapil Sankla. Kapil Sankla, with what you have heard in terms of what was said on stage in Haridwar, I want to ask you, what could be fit that they could be booked under? Because as we speak, there are people who were booked for the Delhi riots where there is no hate speech, you know, there is no evidence that a hate speech was made, and they were charged under UAP and sedition.
Well, yes, you are right. But then the hate speech was connected to sedition, and sedition's ramifications are quite huge, and we both know that. And we also know that as far as sedition is concerned, the proof shifts, or the guilt shifts, and the onus shifts, and the onus is on the person to prove that he did not make the statement, and the statement was made without any intention or the mens rea to sedition. So that's one part of it. In this case, there are various sections when we come to CRPC section 95, which defines what kind of hate speech is, what kind of publications are there. Then there are, of course, section 124A, 153A, section 153B, 292, 293, etc., etc. Having said that, I agree with my co-panelist. What has been said, what is being shown in the media, as disconnected it is, and I wish that, you know, you hear the entire thing, as good or bad or ugly it is, should not have been said. But that also brings to point that what happens when somebody from the minority makes similar statement. Why do we overlook it? Why do we say that, no, but this is freedom of speech? You know, why should the cacophony of minority fill the silence of the majority? It's unfortunate what the majority has done. I agree with eye for an eye makes the entire world go blind. I completely endorse it. It should not have been said. But it raises a larger picture. And I was arguing this somewhere. Somebody said that, you know, we should remove all these speakers from the temples, and they were silent about the mosque. And I said that why don't we have the similar issue? And they said no, but they're talking about removing the mics from a mosque as well. But we kind of overlook when the minority raises such kind of slogans, such kind of narratives. There has been something in Hyderabad where there were these boards that, you know, hum aa gaye hain, bahar niklo, Kashmir se bhaga diya, pandito bahar niklo, something like that. And it was all over Twitter. And they said, and I think for 2 days somebody said shame, shame, and everybody forgot about it. So the question is this: should anybody be allowed to make a statement against another community, caste, color, creed, religion, sect? The answer is no.
All right, okay.
Is it a criminal offense? Yes. The question again is that why should we raise hue and cry if the majority is saying it and not the minority? You were saying something.
All right. Okay. Now, I want to come back to the both of you. And Yashovardhan Azad, I want to ask you very quickly. I don't have much time. And the question I want to put forth is, many of the people who made these speeches on this dais, this Dharam Sansad, were repeat offenders. They've done it in the past. They've never gotten booked.
That's true. I mean, in fact, let me say that the Dharam preachers on both sides are treaded very, very softly. And I agree with my co-panelists that, you know, the even-handed justice which should be meted out to both sides is not really seen in many places. I have witnessed in myself in my career that there's a great softness when approaching the mahans or the mullahs of any kind, and this is basically because of the vote banks, nothing else. No state government wants to touch them, and because they feel that anything they do would impact on the votes. And today, mind you, everything is about elections and everything is about votes.
You know, I'm terribly short of time. I am going to bow out of, this quick conversation that we've had. Well, it's all about votes. It's political. It's either side of the divide. Both of them need to pay the price. But Uttarakhand is going into elections in the next 2 months' time. Till now, there is not an FIR. And these, once again, and I want to reiterate it, are not fringe players. With that, I want to go into a quick...